Hey, we're live. Do you like my new glasses? Monocle. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming and loyal group. It's so lovely to keep this up. There's hopefully this constant source of care and a nice midweek kind of break to do something special, something to get excited about. And as always, just discover how much fun and joy can be brought and focus can be brought with origami. So this week, very excited. Hello, Stephen. Very excited to share the Meta ring. Now, there are many Meta rings, and a friend was able to actually put me in touch with Meta Pedersen, who has invented these amazing rings. She's invented a lot. I find it quite hard. How do I get hold of an origamist to ask them? But Meta very kindly replied, and she was very happy to let me demonstrate this and to pass it on. And so, obviously, inspired by that, I was very happy. Hello, honey, to buy this book as well. So this is one of her books. So this is where it comes from. Meta Units 4. What a great name, Meta. And it's a really, really lovely. I love particularly how she's a little bit more unconventional and encourages, for example, the use of post-it notes, or suggests using things like business cards, or just seeing what kind of patterns emerge. Look at these gorgeous rings. They're absolutely beautiful. And they're fairly sort of flat, which I guess is a little bit better for diagrams. I still always struggle with diagrams. It was interesting. I've made some notes, and I've obviously got the book. Here's a lovely like business card one. You see, it's really good. I struggle with the diagrams, and I'd sort of made notes, and I found I really did have to practice again. Once I get into it, then it all seems to make sense again, but it takes me quite a while to get my head around it. So look how much she's done. This is her, I guess, her fourth book, maybe. Wow, I've got lots more to make. I've actually myself been, as I think I've said, I've almost been taking myself away from looking at the work of others because it would just inspire me too much. And instead just experimenting myself and seeing where that takes me. But this has been something I've been wanting to share for a long time, and with her blessing, so it's really nice to have that. So I think I made this maybe about a year ago, actually. And then I had to go, so I was inspired by how she suggests using other things. This is one out of train tickets. I don't know whether it's 18 units or not. It's so thick that it may be possibly slightly disrupted it, but it's got a really good feel to it. Look, I love the inside of them too. There's something really kind of, feels like really ancient, quite amazing. Oh, fantastic, Eric. Thank you. Yes, thank you for your comments. Sorry, I kept meaning to reply. Many thanks. Yes, you raised the about touch and about whether you can give things to people. From what I understand, this virus particularly, it's very much mostly the air. Definitely, I mean, of course, touch is another important factor. But I think if you're to receive something from anybody, you'd wash your hands afterwards. Certainly, you wouldn't touch your face or eat after you've touched something from somebody else. So I think that's always to be said. So if somebody gave you something like a card, you'd look at it, touch it, put it up, and then you'd wash your hands. So I don't think it's too much of a problem giving things to people. The other thing that they've done in things like libraries is to like put things like books by for quite a few days to just to make that difference. So I don't think necessarily that you can't exchange things at all, but you just have to think carefully. It's more the air, sharing air, that's the direct way, because it's a virus that has like a membrane around it, so they actually can dry out, which is good. And of course soap and alcohol will disrupt it. So sorry, I kept on meaning to reply properly, Eric. I really appreciate your thoughts and your care and your as ever. Definitely. So we're going to be making a Meta ring. I have to say, I'm going to get you started. I'm afraid we're not going to do the whole thing because there's 18 units in it. But just to enjoy, we'll do something like 4, and then you can continue. It's just such a lovely, sturdy structure. I rather like it partway through. Look at this lovely structure. This jump thing's so beautiful. Here's one I'm also slightly constructing. It's gorgeous, isn't it? You can imagine this as a giant kind of archway. So this is a partial one. And as I said, you can experiment with different things. So we'll get going in a moment. Week after that, Eric, at your request, I'm going to share how to make a fortune teller flower, which does work as a fortune teller. So it really does work, but it also resembles a flower as well. I've actually found quite a few different variants with the traditional fortune teller or chatterbox, depending on what you say. Yeah, but I thought this is probably the prettiest. I was doing a little bit colouring in. Thank you for your honey as well. Actually, just lots of scribblings there. It worked out, I thought, really well. Looks like a flower, doesn't it? So that'll be next week. And then we've got something simple, traditional, but brilliant. And then something else that I've found. So lots to look forward to. I try to plan my time a little bit more. I used not to, but actually it's quite wearing to constantly think of things. So I tend to do a batch of 3. So the next 3 are sorted. Then I'll think again. So mixture of traditional, my own findings. But yeah, I've been very excited about sharing this. And it's lovely to feel that she's given her blessings too. Yeah, very architectural. And yeah, thoroughly recommend. Might consider her book even. Yeah, it's a bit of a treat. So pretty. So pretty. And so she really loves rings. And I loved her playful attitude of encouraging looking at using different materials as well. Look at these lovely patterns. How could you not love them? It's brilliant. So yes, looking forward to all of this together. So as I said, I think we'll do just 4 units out of the whole thing is 18. So it'll be a project to start you off on. And that way we can go slowly and enjoy it rather than go, oh God, we've got to do 18. Because it's a little bit of a project, but hopefully it's nice to share with you some projects. Right, so something to press on. Honey, are you still by the sea? I'm wondering if you're by the sea. Yeah, because you're having a break, aren't you? It's fantastic. Good idea. Wish I was there. So I'm going to do some giant units, which would make a really nice big circle, but it's completely up to you. You might, for example, if you have a piece of origami paper, you could split it into 4 pieces. Whatever, it really doesn't matter. The point is you'll have to do, if you want to make a full circle, 18, and each square is the same size. That's it. So I am going to do, oh, brilliant. I am going to do a big square, and then I'm going to split that into 4. But they're all the same. That's it. Excellent. And going to get rid of the rectangle. No doubt I'll be playing with that strip of paper. See if I can discover anything new with it. Yes. There we go. Good strong fold. Yes, and also thanks to the British Origami Society, I donated very kindly a lovely load of paper. And so great fun. I have been finding out colleagues who could appreciate some paper to either to help them as an individual or to pass on to other staff or in their ward. I've been welcoming new nurses to the hospital as well, all online, but everyone said it'd be really lovely if I had some nice papers. So big thanks to the British Origami Society for that. So my square, I'm just going to split into 4. So I'm presuming you all know what you're doing. I think you do actually, but do say if not. I will always happily explain. There we go. Just going to split this. So we're making 4 matching squares. I'm going to go big, so that way it's nice and easy to show you. Splitting in half again. So it does become like a little dance for your fingers, I always think. Something like this. There's a lot of repetition when it's modular. At first it's a little bit hard to get your head around it, and after a while it starts to become more and more automatic, which is rather lovely. But as I said, I had to practice a little bit again. I hope I'll be okay with this. Because even my notes, I find I can find it hard to follow the diagrams. I have to do it, really. Great. Oh, indoor climbing hanger. That sounds intriguing, honey. Gosh, you're getting out and about. How exciting. Oh, right. So let's get those finger exercises. That could be good for climbing too, couldn't it? The focus, the dexterity. The belief in yourself, I suppose, too. So we're going to fold it in half, one way and the other way. Ignore that diagonal line. It doesn't matter at all. It's just the way I've made my square. So doing it that way and that way. So maybe I'll show you with one, and then the next 3 we can do together. Does that make sense? Yeah. A little bit of a patch firmly on the ground. Good for you. Lovely. So we've done a vertical and a horizontal line. Great. So our next step is to take the corner and bring it into the middle, like so. Do shout up if you need me to slow down. So we'll do just one piece to become a unit, and then the next 3 we'll do together. So it's a bit of a patch. You have a corner. How are your fingers today, Eric? I hope they're subtle and fine. Yeah, it's great to hear that you've been making origami to give to other people too. That's really nice. Yeah, there we go. So just at one end, just those 2. Don't do it for every piece. That's it. Looks like a tent. Yeah. So our next step, are you all happy? Are you all at that point? Let go nice and slow. Part of a relaxation is to go slow, isn't it? It's very tempting. Just think, come on, let's get it done. No, that's not the point. Point is to relax and enjoy this. So it should look like a little tent. Our next step is to take the bottom and bring it to the middle line. So we're just halving this, like so. You're not climbing, no. My dad used to do lots of climbing. We actually went to the Sahara to go and climb an incredible mountain in Algeria that just sticks out in the middle of nowhere. Incredible. I remember as a kid, I used to quite happily, not quite climb, but certainly I was very daring. And as an adult, I just feel terrified now. It completely changes. You can become so cautious as an adult. I think it's knowing the danger. Just, it can really disrupt your, being able to do that. Wow. Oh, amazing, Eric. Wow. So we've just halved there. So our next step, are you ready for the next step, everyone? I can't hear you. I'll imagine. So we did the top and wow, exciting. Yeah, it must be amazing nature. The national parks must be incredible in America. Yeah. So halving it there, right. So our next step is to take the top bit and just bend it back so it's out of view. There we go. So that top bit looks like a tent, just folding that back. Hello, Deborah. Definitely. So Deborah, what we're going to do is I'm showing you how to make a little unit to make a meta ring, which is amazing. So actually, whatever, even if you're here from the start, we're not going to manage to do this in this session, but what I'll do is I'll show you how to do the unit, and there's always the films as well, so you can easily refer back to that. So at the moment we're just making one unit, but in a minute we're going to go through the whole doing it with another 3, so it's all good. So for now, feel free to just relax. You could maybe get yourself some matching squares. So I did a big square, cut it into 4. And I'm just using one of the 4 squares. Right, so our next step is take this middle line and we're going to bring it up to here. So we're just basically halving it there. Can I do this to a camera? I don't know. Maybe not. I think I need to look down and see what I'm doing. Right, so... Oh, suddenly my head's gone all funny doing it. Oh, yeah. So that's how I do it. Right. So I'm taking this and I'm going to push this up. So this lines up. Can you see? So it was down there, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up to there. Like so. On the other side, maybe it's even clearer, to be honest, because you can see that lines up. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I brought it there. I feel as if I've lost my train of thought a bit. Never mind. So I'm going to turn it over. Is it looking like that for you? We will go through it, okay. This bottom flap, next step is to just lift that up. Looks like a party hat now. So you can see what I mean. It's a little dance, isn't it? All these little steps. And I'm now going to turn it to the other side. After a while, honestly, it becomes automatic. It's quite amazing. If you do something over and over again, it does eventually make sense. Bringing this down, and these little bits that stick up, I want you to fold that in there. But we'll go through it again. And then folding that in there. And then lifting that flap up. And you've basically got your unit. Has that worked for you? Do I need to run through any of that? Hope that's worked. We'll do it again though. And then folding it in half so that these little pockets are on the outside. The little pockets are very useful. I've been attempting, I was just playing around and I found something similar-ish but without pockets, and it's really hard. I can see the genius of this. It's only by playing around yourself that you start to realise just how clever this letters work is. Right, let's do another one. So maybe actually if we just do one unit again and then we'll do 2 units again together. Right, just so it helps everyone catch up. So for Deborah there as well. So we're going to fold in half both ways. You're also going to get into a little pattern of it. All these things feel very unfamiliar at first. Given time, it gets easier. All right. So we did those, the horizontal and vertical in the middle. All good. And then the outside corner to the middle. Great. So I said we'll do this one and then we'll do another 2, so you'll have had a good bit of practice. This corner going to the middle, just doing it at this one end. Again, take your time, encouraging us to slow down. It looks like a little tent. Great. And our next fold is in the middle of this bottom area. So I'm going to take this bottom line and bring it up to the top line. Like so. Bring it all lined up, taking your time. That's it. Nice strong fold. And undoing it. Happy. So it should look like this. Our next step is to tilt the top backwards. Out of the way. And we want to do a halfway line in this area. So this is a simple one, so there must be all sorts of amazing things in this book. Little line to the top. I'm keeping it all as a bit of a treat because, as I said, for now I'm just trying to not look at others. And I won't come up with as complex things, but that's all right. That's it. All right, and turning to the back, it should look like this. Does it look like that for you? And this lace flap at the bottom, bring it up. Looks like a party hat. Party hat. And then turn to the back and bring down that front little flap. These little bits that are sticking up, we want to tuck them in. Just very pleasing, isn't it? It all just comes together. Pushing that in. And then that bottom bit, bringing up. You've got a lovely, neat little unit here. It will all just work so beautifully. And this middle line, folding it back so those pockets are on the outside. You'll soon see how they work. We have now done 2. Shall we do a third? Maybe we should do each one individually. That way, hopefully, if you've got any problems, it will start to make more sense. Next one. We're a little unit factory, aren't we? So this is, Meta Unit 4, but Model 1. Oh, I think, Unit 4 Model 1. It does sound like a kind of car manufacturing thing, doesn't it? It's probably because there are so many beautiful, beautiful rings that Meta's created. After all, you just have to go for numbering them, which makes sense. We're going to halve it each way, I think from America. Yeah, across the world. Origami. So fold it in half. Oh, Dopey, hello, Janet. Lovely to have you with us. I hope you're keeping well. I hope your family's keeping well. Hope things are getting better in India. Halfway long and vertical as well. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever made a Meta ring, Janet, but they are really amazing. Very beautiful design from Meta Pedersen. So we're going to take the outside corner, bring to the middle, and we're just doing that 1/2. By the end of this, we'll have done this 4 times, and you just need to do another 14 times. It's 18 units to make a full circle, but it becomes very meditative. It becomes very relaxing. Bottom area, we're going to halve this area. So I'm just going to take the bottom and bring it up to that middle line. Oh, lovely, everyone's saying hello to each other. Nice little space, isn't it? Yay. Very nice. Friends across the world. Again, this top bit, I'm amazed that any of you are able to write any messages at the same time as this. Keeps your hand so thoroughly occupied, doesn't it? This top triangle. Bringing that back and out of the way. And we're going to do a halfway line there. So we're going to take this and line it up to that. There we go. And then turn it over to the other side. And you've got this kind of flap hanging down. Bring this up, and I've already created a film of this, and this will be recorded too, so you've got plenty of chance to catch up. So don't worry if it goes pear-shaped at times, or maybe you're inventing something new. Doesn't matter. Main thing is it's time together, isn't it? Looks like a party hat. Turn it to the back. I'm sure. Have any of you made this before? I'm sure many of you will have done. If you do origami, this is such a lovely piece. Piece sticking up, fold it in. I just think they look so timeless. They're a little bit like kind of a Celtic ring, aren't they? Or some kind of magical amulet or something. You can imagine it from many cultures, really. Folded it over, bringing it up, and then folding it in half so that pocket's on the outside. Right, that's my 3rd one. And I'll do a 4th one, but I'm afraid we're not going to do all 18 because we'll be here for a very long time. Piece of paper, again in half and vertical. Oh, I have you, Margaret. Yeah, so nice though. I do like Meta's idea of using things like, I don't know, some kind of little promotional piece of paper that you've got many copies of, as you saw with the tray ticket. That was thick, actually, I have to say. It wasn't the easiest thing. But it's a nice effect, isn't it? How you get patterns out of just that repetition. It really looks good. Halfway across, right, and then the vertical. Excellent. Stephen, you must have made this before. I presume so. Here we go. So we've done the vertical, horizontal, and then the outside to the middle. And of course, all of these films are dedicated for my colleagues' well-being and who've joined in at different times, but also using the films as well. And I've just started at Origami Staff Origami Club, which is just brilliant. So actually, people have been finding it really useful, and it's lovely. I've been seeing they've been sharing through social media, but to actually meet together. Oh wow, this is new to you, Eric. Then this is really exciting. I mean, it's beautiful anyway, but how exciting! It almost works in a whole different way as well. You'll see. Oh, it's new to you too. Fantastic. Hurrah. Glad to bring along something new. Excellent. Oh, hello, Gavin. Lovely to have you. So, folded these. You may well have made this, Gavin, I would imagine. I hope you're keeping well. I hope your family's okay. I'm sorry, India's been so hard hit, hasn't it? Really thinking of India very much. And it's the whole world. We're not in a good way, then none of us will be. Let's hope things can get better. Vaccine's the only way, isn't it? And India's been busy helping making vaccines. I hope that. Oh, you got one on your mantelpiece. That's fantastic, Stephen. Oh, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, the book's really good. It was through Amazon. I think maybe published herself, but it's really nicely done. There's a lovely simplicity to it and colourful. As I said, I'm almost keeping it as a bit of a treat for when I feel like I need a break from trying to come up with my own thing. I've been keen to see what I can find, and that way I've got lots then to show you all as well. So I've folded in those top ones. Now I'm going to take the bottom and bring it to the middle line. That's it. It is a beautiful, beautiful ring. Oh, that's really exciting. That this is new to many of you as well. Oh, excellent. So fold it in half there. Taking this top bit and folding it back. You'll actually find online, this is how I first did this at least a year ago. If you look up Meta Ring online as well, Meta's put together a kind of a website, and this is the one that she shows you as a diagram. So that's there. I guess I was feeling daring to use a diagram. As I said, I just find diagrams quite hard work, however good they are. It's just my brain, but a lot of people are the same too. So that's why I find that films often more helpful. But I think that's how we learn generally, is from each other, isn't it? And I think that's why it's so helpful in these times, because it's about that kind of really focused time together. We want to do things together, don't we? So this halfway line I can bring up there in order to halve that. Oh, yes, I agree. Deborah, I love modular too. It is very pleasing. Oh, you'll love this when you get it together. It's amazing. And it just has a lovely feel to it. Right, turning it over. It's nice to have a project that you can then continue with after this as well. You'll feel very proud when it comes together. So this bottom flat, lifting it up and turning it around. As I said, it's a little dance. Bringing this down, and that's so that you can tuck these in. Holding that in, holding that in. And I can see how you kind of really get into this. It's not much, is it? $6.89. Wow. Yeah, bargain. And there's lots of units in there. There we go. And then folding it back. There we go. Right, I have made 4. I hope you've managed to make at least one, at least 2, maybe 4. Right, so let's see how they go together. Yeah, it's priceless, honestly, isn't it? Origami as well. It is. It's really nice. So it's nice that she's gathered it as a book, and it is really well done too. So how to get it? It almost feels like the opposite way around. I remember doing this first and just going, "Wow, this works in a whole different way." Yeah, to how a lot of modular pieces work. So if you get them the same way around, and actually it's this bit which is on the outside, which feels really different. So to get them together, you've got a little piece here, and the little kind of prongy bit on one side is going to slot in there, and it goes into that pocket. Can you see? It goes into the, but you need to do it on both front and back at the same time. Right? Concentration, concentration. Oh, excellent. Yep. Keep practicing. Wow, it really is tricky on camera to do both sides. Right. So you'll need to sort of shuffle it round until it fits. But it's really good because as one closes, it kind of grips onto the next one. Can you see? And you get this lovely little bit of colour, I suppose, showing on the inside. You can see here. It almost feels like a weaving. Next one. So if you have it the same way around, slightly tilting it. And again, I find it useful to have almost got up those little prongy bits under the pockets at the top and then sliding it down into that one. But there's a little triangle there, which I definitely can't look at the camera and do. So, yeah. The crane flower last week I definitely found difficult to do while filming because it would just tear because I wasn't able to 100% focus. Good test of you can shuffle around until it's all nice and tight. Isn't that lovely? Great. Well, it's clearly maths, but you don't have to understand the maths to do it, I think. Yeah. Which is good because it could otherwise put you off. Excellent. But it is wonderful that it's maths too. I guess everything is, but you don't have to understand it. But it's fun to try, isn't it? So again, I am trying to lift it almost up into this bit and then sliding it down into that pocket. And you have to do it front and back. Whew, the concentration. But it is really nice and tight. And I think, this is the idea of good little pockets and things fitting into each other. That way you can sort of shuffle them round and it will always have a really nice, it would just feel good. Whereas when occasionally I actually tried to do something which was a bit similar, which was from my own just playing around. And actually I found it just wouldn't stay together except with a little bit of glue. I'll show you actually because it's quite an interesting one because it's obviously related to this, but super simple. And I do like it, but it was falling apart every time, so I had to then use a little bit of glue to keep those tiny bit. It wouldn't otherwise stay, but you can see it hasn't got the absolute perfection that you get with everything holding in on itself and being able to just get them all hanging together. Because if you at all fix anything, you haven't got that movement in it. Whereas this will end up being fairly perfect. Well, I suppose it's probably dependent on your folding as well, how similar those units are. But you just enjoy the feel of it. There's something chunky about it as well, isn't there? We're intrigued, honey. What's your presentation for? That sounds really good. Oh, follow your first 6. Excellent. Yes. And it's actually someone, because I mentioned the post-its as inspired and by sharing Meta's kind of encouragement about post-its, and someone shared that they'd made one just a bright pink post-its, deep dark pink post-its, which look really good actually. So you can all do it the same colour and it will look lovely. Or you could use it as a chance to to have a nice little spectrum of colour. I was able to do that, which was very pleasing. I attempted to do one actually out of foil, but I found that they slip apart too easily. And then that started getting really annoying because it kept on falling apart. Again, train tickets, but they're very thick. So that was very difficult to do and quite hard. You can see it's not absolute perfection because you can't quite get them all together. But I hope you'll enjoy the Meta ring. It is an absolute joy. And I may be able to share some others at some point from the book as well. Meta said I'd be welcome to do that. So, or maybe it's something to consider getting the book as well. So next week I will be back with the fortune teller flower. Because we all love a fortune teller, and this is like a little flower at the same time, which can work. So that will be something. And then something traditional the week after, something else I found. So lots to come. At some point in August, I will probably be taking a bit of a break, but I will let you all know in good time. No idea if I'm going anywhere or not. It's so hard to plan anything, and obviously loads of places to be booked up, but you can't tell which areas could be tricky or not. It's very hard for us all, isn't it, at the moment? All we can do is our best. But even if you don't go away, it's still important, I think, to give yourselves breaks. Although this is absolutely my joy, actually to still give myself breaks is important too. So, but I will let you know closer to the time. We're still only in June, aren't we? So why am I thinking that far ahead? It's nice to think of the summer, and it's certainly a summer at the moment. So I hope you can get outside and enjoy the gorgeous sunshine. Grab those moments when you can, because it's like a little bit of holiday brought to us. So, oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, this is for you, Eric. So I'm glad you like it. I also like how you can sort of flip it around, and you've got all sorts of different. I mean, this is just how the fortune teller works, but you can really play with the shapes. It's a real shape shifter. Interesting, isn't it? And then pop it back into the other shape. Yeah. And I found lots more variants on top of this as well. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Well, take care, everyone. Have a good week. Happy meta ring making. Would love to see what you make. So if any of you do use Twitter and Dr. Lizzie Burns, or on Facebook, join the fold, origami to beat boredom. Is that it? Join the fold? Yeah. I keep on forgetting the name of it. Anyway, look after yourselves. Bye-bye, Penny. Bye-bye, Stephen. Margaret. Oh, half a ring. Well done. You've done a lot better than me. Look after yourself. Honey as well. Eric, Money. Thanks for joining. Take care, Deborah. And look forward to seeing you next week if you're free. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.